Cancel.
Schweezy.
Time for a movie review. I know. So, I have recently watched, actually this was a couple weeks ago. The week I did the review of School of Rock, I initially planned to do a movie review of 101 Dalmatians, but since Kevin Clark passed away, may he rest in peace, I held off on the 101 Dalmatians review for this week. I wanted to do it because they did release Cruella, which is the origin story for a woman who wants to skin Dalmatian puppies, because Hollywood has decided that we needed to fund that movie. And yeah, so I guess we're doing this shit now. I did watch Cruella. Did I pay $30 for Disney Premier Access? No, I torrented the movie like an adult. So that's what I did. So I did watch the movie. I really enjoyed Cruella. I don't want to give anything away, but I think it's setting up the 101 Dalmatians cinematic universe in the movie. Like all the characters from 101 Dalmatians are in it. Now, is it a prequel to the live action or the cartoon? I have no fucking clue. Okay. That's all I really want to say on Cruella. But it's a pretty good movie for a movie about the origin story of a woman who wants to kill puppies. 101. The adult 2 were not in it. So exactly 99 wants to skin exactly 99 Dalmatian puppies. That's
This is the type of guy
woman.
you get.
Trying to squeeze that in. So let's go into it. I watched 101 Dalmatians. So let's get into it. Let's talk about 101 Dalmatians, the true origin movie. This is like the Captain America. No, it wouldn't be Captain America Winter Soldier. So this would be Iron Man. And then Cruella would be like the Captain America, the First Avenger of the 101 Dalmatians cinematic universe. So let's get into it. We're first introduced to Roger Radcliffe. Now, Roger is a struggling songwriter who's trying to create that one big hit. And he has a dog named Pongo, a Dalmatian dog. And like I said, we don't know where Cruella, the movie, takes into bliss, so I don't want to spoil that ending for you. He's a struggling songwriter just trying to, get a big hit. And his house is, like, messy and full of music stuff, which is kind of like how I live. And there's a lot of things there that could be something. That was like interesting, and I'm like, I hope my life is like him, like a single guy with just music stuff all over his home. And then we meet we meet Pongo, or kind of, he's now the one in charge of this movie, and he's like, you know what, Roger needs to fucking get laid. And so he does what any dog would do and looks out the window, tries to hook Roger up, and there's a little bit of a gray area here, because it kind of sounds like Pongo is trying to get laid himself, but he's using Roger as an excuse, because he's looking at all these people with dogs, and then he sees Anita, the one woman with a Dalmatian, and he's like, we gotta get laid from them. So eventually they go to the park, and he's like, gotta go to the park, because, Anita and Perdita, or whatever that dog is, they... yada, 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 they gotta meet. So, Pongo, wants to do doggy style with her dog. So so they go to the park, all these shenanigans, they fall in the lake, and then they're like, oh, now we're in love. And so now they're married. And then flash forward, now they're married. And you would think that, so say I have a dog, and I mean another woman, she has a dog, we get married. Are the dogs step siblings? Not in this movie, though. The dogs are now married too. So technically, we're going on technicalities here. These dogs got married and they're step siblings. So stepbrother What are you doing, step bro? That's the.
This is the type of guy you get.
This is the movie we're watching, folks. This is the movie I watched. So step sibling dogs get married. And that's. I mean, they're not. We're not technically step siblings. We're not technically related. Not my real brother. So we continue here. Then we are then introduced to Cruella de Vil, who the dogs hate with a passion, because dogs know when people are bad, and they're introduced and shit like that. And then Roger just like he's worked and then he's like, your friend Cruella's coming over. I don't like that bitch. And then he's like, I want to make a song about her. Cruella de Vil, Cruella de Vil, and you will need some. I don't know the words, and you only will. I eat some ass and eating ass and eating some ass. Cruella de Vil. So he creates that diss track on Cruella. So the Cruella movie gives you a little origin to their feud, but Roger just made a diss track about Anita's friend, his wife's friend. So even though she is bad, he still gets it. And then Cruella is smoking like a cigarette on one of those cigarette extended things. And now they wouldn't allow it in the new movie because Disney does not allow smoking, which is good for a company that primarily makes kids movies, to not have kids smoking, to not trying to get them to smoke, because smoking is the least fun and it's not good at all. But no, and Cruella's smoking, and there's green smoke coming out of it, which I'm assuming that shit is weed. I assume she's just fucking smoking weed out of her pipe because it's green, it's coming out yet. Oh yeah, Cruella stopped by because I guess Perdita, her dog, which is a dumb name for a dog, Perdita. That's a dumb name. About to have she's pregnant. Puppies, and so Cruella wants all the dogs for a nefarious purpose that we have not found out yet, which you could probably figure out if you've ever watched this movie before. And then she's like offering, I'll take all the puppies. Oh, okay. So then flash forward, Perdita's giving birth. And here's the weird thing. I can't remember when this movie came out. Did I put it in my notes? Because I wanted to put it out. Yeah, so, like, the dogs are giving birth, and the men are not allowed in the same room as the dog giving birth. Now, I assume this is, like, an allegory for, like, men not being allowed in the delivery room during childbirth. They would just be somewhere else smoking. And I guess they're doing the same in this movie, too, even though it's a fucking dog. Anyways, they find out Perdita, or Purdy, I think that's the name they call her. They find out that Perdita has 15 puppies, but unfortunately now only 14 because one did not survive. And then Roger rubs the puppy for a very uncomfortable amount of screen time. I'm telling you, it was very uncomfortable. It was like rub, 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 like an awkward amount. Like you felt time just stop as he rubs an unconscious birth puppy. And then for some reason the puppy comes back alive and they name it Lucky. Did I remember any of the other puppies' names? Absolutely not. Because they eventually get to 99 of them. And I know what you're thinking. They only had 15 puppies. Isn't this movie called 101 Dalmatians? And I thought the same thing as you. This is not 100. They're about 84 Dalmatians short. And but we'll get to that later. Oh yeah, 84 ones short without the two grown-ass dogs. So Cruella is immediately there after the birth for some reason, and she's getting ready to what is it? Okay, what did I put in my notes here? Oh yeah, so he's Cruella's like willing to buy the 15 puppies, and she's like, name your price, I don't care. Like, I have the money. And then I guess Roger. Okay, here's what I wrote in my notes, and I'm trying to figure out my train of thought when doing this. It was a couple weeks ago. Roger really doesn't want to sell because he still wants his Cruella de Vil diss track to go platinum, and this is crucial to the plot. Okay, yeah, so apparently that's crucial to the plot, the puppies. So they're like, we're going to keep all 15 of these puppies and then 2 grown-ass dogs. So Cruella makes a dramatic exit, as you would, to someone who has already written a diss track and is going to try to get rich off your life. So that's the way it is. So, and I know we all listen to these reviews because you want me to find gay representation, Happy Pride Month, by the way, in Disney movies. Then we're introduced to Jasper and Horace, who are also in Cruella. I'm just promoting that movie for no fucking reason. And they're gay. They didn't say it in the film, but I just know they're gay. There are 2 thieves hired by Cruella, which you find out in the Cruella origin story that they're close, that they're all like family. So they are hired by Cruella to steal the dogs, all of them, except no, just the puppies, not the big ones. Apparently, just the puppies from Roger and Anita. While they're out for after they're out for a walk, and it's just the maid. Jasper and Horace just barge in. I think Jasper does a distraction, and then Horace steals all the puppies. And they put the puppies in a bag. Okay? Have you ever thrown a blanket on top of a dog? They just run around like crazy. And, but apparently they were able to stuff 15 Dalmatian puppies into a bag. And it worked out okay. So, is there a story there? Probably. Something probably would happen. I mean, dogs piled on top of other dogs. I can't believe they would have some problems. Some puppies would be jumping out of that bag. I don't. Have you ever been around a puppy? And puppies are like energetic too. Okay, so I'm looking at my notes right now, folks. I must have wrote the stupidest notes. So after making the paper for their stolen puppies, the thieves are now wanting payments for the dogs they stole. Okay, and then... So, oh yeah, okay, so that's what I wrote. And then Roger thinks Cruella stole the dogs, but they don't have any proof. So, therefore, they do not have a case against it. But they all go out for a search. And apparently how dogs work is Pongo barks his ass off, looking for 15 puppies. And that is basically like lighting the beacons of Gondor in regards to getting every other animal's attention in regards to this situation, which then we're introduced to... then the entire city of London is just dogs barking. That's all it is. Then we go to the team that is gonna rescue the 15 puppies, and maybe more. We'll see, maybe more. So we got the Colonel, he's a dog, and then a cat named Tibbs, and a horse named the Captain. They are all here today that's our team to investigate this. They were able to search the estate of Cruella de Vil. And I bet you were wondering, I bet Cruella de Vil lives in a very nice, very happy place. You were wrong. She lives in the creepiest mansion that has ever existed ever for any reason. And so I guess Tibbs the cat was searching the estate and discovers the 15 dogs, the 15 puppies. But counts them all together. Turns out 99 altogether. So with Pongo and Perdita, that is where we get 101 Dalmatians. So we got to the name of the movie and why it's called 101 Dalmatians. So we now are in a situation with 101 Dalmatians. So that is now where we got the movie. And then like the Jasper and Horace are like hanging out with all the dogs in one room, and they're like watching TV, and Jasper is drinking wine straight from the bottle. So am I Jasper? Now I haven't drank since April, but am I Jasper? Am I Jasper? That's a good question. So I don't know if I'm going to be hating on them for the rest of this, the interview, because I think I'm a little bit like Jasper. And if you go back to 2019, I kind of look like Horace. So got some problems there. So yeah. Oh yeah, and then like the Anita and Roger's dogs are all in collars, but the others are not in collars. So the dogs we care about are in collars, but the ones we don't really care about are not in collars. FYI, because we only think about the royal family being Pongo and Perdita. So eventually, Pongo and Perdita just run away. We'll get back to that. They just run away to rescue their dogs. But they also learn at the last, so they're like, oh, we know where they are, but the mansion. And then at the last minute, they're like, oh, yeah, that's just where Cruella lives. And they're like, and they're like, shit, they're going to die. That woman's evil. They're going to die. And then, and I said Nips and the Colonel are on their way as well, but the Colonel does not move. It's just Nips. Nips is the only one doing anything in this. The other two are just there for, because I guess, I don't know why. I guess they just wanted a team there. So the dogs are still puppies. Now, what Cruella could do, because you learn why she has so many Dalmatians, is because she wants to skin them and make a Dalmatian coat. Now, here's some plot problems here. If we're going with the Cruella movie as canon to the 101 Dalmatians cinematic universe, she did have a Dalmatian-looking jacket in Cruella. It's not spoiling anything. You'll figure that shit out if you watch the movie. Now, so she has a jacket already. Now, why is she wanting to skin real dogs for a jacket that looks like it? A lot of questions that none of them get answered. But instead of waiting for the dogs to grow old, she wants to skin them now. That's why she has 99 of them. So that's why, and then, so I guess Roger and Horace are like, we'll do them after this TV show. And then all the dogs sneak out, and then eventually they find out, and then a goofy little chase happens with Pongo, Perdita, the 99 puppies, and the gay couple. So they're all running around, just your normal cartoon hijinks, coming out round and round again, coming up in May.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
Yeah, I guess. So yeah, they keep running around. Then it's like the journey back home, which the journey there was not long, but the journey back home is very long. But they're on their trail almost the entire time. They hide with the captain, and the captain back kicks it with a horse. Now, I'm terrified of a horse back kicking me. Because that could actually kill you. Like, you can get severely damaged, and a back kick from a horse will actually kill you. So if I'm around a horse, I'm always staying in the front, because I don't think they can kick me like that. I kick by the horse. They somehow are injury-free and don't die. So that's a question for someone else. And then eventually Cruella gets involved, and the gang almost dies from hypothermia, like walking, and then a bunch of cows let them stay with them, and then they're like, I'm hungry, and the cows are like, here, come drink our milk, which is weird, which is fucking weird. They're drinking it straight from the tit. But the dogs also look like they're eating real food at this point and not being breastfed. A lot of problems, and it was very weird of them to add a scene where the dogs are drinking breast milk in the movie. So they almost die of hypothermia. Then they start drinking breast milk straight from a cow, which I don't understand that science at all, but apparently that worked. But unfortunately, Cruella sees their tracks in the snow, and she's right on their tail. And so they find a van that's going straight to London, so they all sneak in the back of it, and they all like get in there. Cruella's still chasing them, and then eventually... they're all they all cover themselves in soot, so Cruella doesn't think they're Dalmatians. It's like, that's just a weirdly odd amount of dogs, but they're all covered in soot. So that's how they get away in disguise. Then eventually Cruella's on their tail with a car, which you learn in the film is a DeVille. And that's how Cruella got her last name. And she ended up driving because there's snow everywhere. And they end up driving and going on a fast chase. And she ends up in the creek because she was driving irresponsibly. So do not go on a high-speed chase in the snow for Dalmatians in a DeVille car.
This is the type of guy you get.
So eventually time has passed. And Roger and Anita are wondering why our dogs ran away. But then they also realize we're rich now because my diss track about Cruella went platinum. And guess what everyone did? Everyone.
And I really like that.
Everyone really liked it. So, but it's Christmas. And then all the dogs come storming in at once. And so you got Pongo and Purdy. They wipe off all the soot on them. And they count all the dogs that just showed up. And they realize they're now the owners of 101 Dalmatians. They said the name of the movie. And then the movie ends like, we're going to buy a farm and let all the dogs live there. A Dalmatian plantation. And then the movie's just straight ends. Like, okay, the ending just happened and there's no time to breathe. So, I guess we're just going to live on a farm. The end. Like, what? Could you show the farm a little bit? Wonderful life we have here with all these dogs. And then the end. So, that is 101 Dalmatians. Now, what did we learn from this movie? Because I feel, is there a lesson to be learned in every movie? No. But is that going to stop me from trying to find one? No. I'm going to find a lesson. So, what did we learn in this movie? If you try to make a fur coat out of dogs, you will crash your car into a creek. And then they will make an origin film about you. And the problem I have with the origin film is that Emma Stone is very pretty and is a very pretty, beautiful woman. And now we all have Cruella de Vil kinks. And that's not cool because she looked like Yzma from Emperor's New Groove in the original, in the cartoon. And Glenn Close in the live action. And so now we're all attracted to Cruella and think of her differently. And the origin movie messed up the whole purpose of this movie, folks. So that's my review of 101 Dalmatians, an animated classic that I have a lot of problems with. Well, hey there, Schwokelord. You just finished a full clip from the show. I hope you liked it, and I hope your brain cells don't hurt. If you want to check out more, we got more links here. We got full episodes, more clips, and the best of everything. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe, and like this video if you enjoyed it.